So the first assignment we had was metamorphosis. So we start by taking equal volumes of clay, 5 parts of equal clays, and we had to transform a letter into an animal. So I chose snail from S. uh, it was the main part was deciding how it grows and how the form transforms into an animal. Like we can see, S is a very simplified structure with just two curves. But whereas as it gets more complex as it becomes a snail, there is the whole shell and the ears and eyes that come out. So the main thing that I had to focus on was the consistency in the change, and the jumps should be uniform. So I made the S first, and I made the final snail first, and then I tried to make the middle part first, and then I tried to establish the jumps in between the second and the fourth stage. And I understood the importance of small changes that we make. For example, adding a small curve here or a small tapering end that shows the eyes. So a little change in the curve or a little extra bend goes a long way, and it shows how a form is converting and changing and transforming.
So we took a letter, that is, I took S, and we converted it to an animal, that is swan. So what we did was we took a big lump of clay, and then we divided it into 5 equal parts for the 5 stages of the metamorphosis. And without reducing the volume, we kept the volume intact, and we changed the form of the we gradually changed the form of the letter. So I did the assignment first, and then what happened was that it was too refined, and the volume change can be seen suddenly. So I have to redo that in such a way that volume change cannot be felt. So we finalized this exploration, and then this was all about metamorphosis, and we could study how the form evolves, and the constant flow comes when the volumes are intact.
So, metamorphosis, alphabet to animal. It was about learning smooth transition from one form into another. We had to use clay and had to depict a controlled transition, and we had to do it in 5 steps. So I chose B for bat, and getting an Helvetica font and turning B into bat. First of all, we had to create an alphabet of Helvetica font. Then, furthermore, we had to create a detailed bat. Then we had to make a form in between which depicts the alphabet and has some characteristics of your final animal. So these are my 5 steps.
So here we had to convert an alphabet, a Helvetica alphabet R, to was to be transformed into an animal, that is the rabbit. So R for rabbit. Then this transformation was to be achieved in 5 stages. That is, so that the amount of transition between each step should be equal. So what I did is, first I made the first stage, the final stage, and then I made the middle stage, that is the third step. Then I made the second step and the fourth step. So after doing that, what I did is I started adding small details in each step, so that to reduce the gap of the transition or the amount of transition between each step. So as you can see, the ears are popping up between in the second step, and the backside of the R is getting bigger, and a bit of it is becoming narrow, so that it just broke down in the third step, and then it completely converted into ears, and his back got fully covered. Then what are the learnings and difficulties in the process? So basically, it's a Bombay clay. So the first difficulty was quick drying of the clay. As you can see, our models were, constantly they were breaking, and we were continuously sticking them up again and again. The brittle nature of the clay. Then there was, we had to maintain the exact volume of the clay in each step. So we just made equal volumes of clay balls, and we had to make the models in that only.
So metamorphosis is just transforming of one form into another. So something important about it was, which we learned about it, was to keeping a amount of interval between each and following the same volume around every in 5 models. So here I took a Helvetia O as a letter and changed it to a form of owl. So I started by creating the detailed image and trying to make each uh, individually as like so after making the detailed image, I started creating small intervals in between. So another part was bringing like small details, which helps in the meaning of the overall form, which helps in the continuity of the whole form.
So first one is metamorphosis. Here, the task was quite difficult for me because I took letter C and I had to convert it to a crab. And the first thing which was coming in my mind was, how should I take a y-axis plane or a x-axis plane for my animal? Like you can see over here, the task was to take either this, like this, or to keep it in a y-axis plane. So I chose a difficult one, which kind of was difficult actually. So what I did, first I made the first step, that is the C one. Okay, the Helvetica C. Then I made the last step, the final step, a perfect detailed version of the crab. Then I made the third step, which was kind of the middle of it, where the C was compressed and made this little form. And then it was turned to the final product, final crab. Then yeah, this is the detailed version of the crab. You can see over there and in the photo also.
Then Metamorphosis 1. In this case, I took the alphabet P and turned it into a peacock. As you can see, like the transformation is achieved in 5 steps, such that the transition between the each step should be equal. The first and the final steps being the letter and animal respectively. Later on, the small details were added to reduce the jump in the transition between each steps.